Auto and renter's rates today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements.
Collins Siding has been the region's premier window siding, door, and gutter installation specialist since 1974. They use only the highest quality materials and never compromise on their workmanship. Collins Siding is licensed, bonded, and their estimates always include labor, materials, and applicable permits and taxes. Collins Siding has been providing top quality service and exceeding high standards for over 45 years, and you can find out how by visiting them at 2016 Cherry Avenue. Collins Siding, 2016 Cherry Avenue, Rapid City.
We all know life's busy, and if you get sick, you can get behind pretty quick. That's where Black Hills Urgent Care comes in. No appointments needed, no long waits, just fast, affordable care to get you feeling better quicker. Black Hills Urgent Care has 2 locations in Rapid City on Haynes Avenue and Mountain View Road. You can simply check in online at bhucare.com. That's with the letter U, bhucare.com. When you need care, see the team at Black Hills Urgent Care, the faster way to get better.
In towns all across South Dakota, it's your banker, the kids' Little League coach, and your brother-in-law who are the firefighters, EMTs, and first responders. So when you drink and drive, the whole town will know it, because they're the first on the scene, and maybe the last faces you see. Do the first responders in your town a favor. Volunteer to be the designated driver. You be the hero, and give them the night off. Brought to you by the South Dakota Office of Highway Safety, the South Dakota Broadcasters Association, and this station.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City, the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
And here's what you need to know.
Kellen Moore's the new head coach of the New Orleans Saints. Team made it official today that they are hiring him away from the Philadelphia Eagles, where he was their offensive coordinator, helping them win Super Bowl 59 at 36 years of age. Moore becomes the youngest active coach in the National Football League, and reports say he's looking to hire a defensive coordinator that could come in the form of former Chargers head coach Brandon Staley. Eagles defensive end Brandon Graham told WIP in Philadelphia today he's going to take some time before deciding on whether to enter retirement or play again. Graham will be at the parade and rally Friday in Philadelphia, where over 1 million people are expected to attend. Free agent center Alex Len is signing a deal with the Lakers, while the Toronto Raptors and forward Brandon Ingram have agreed to terms on a 3-year extension worth $120 million. The Dodgers and 3-time Cy Young Award-winning pitcher Clayton Kershaw have agreed on a deal, his 18th with the organization. I'm Dan Beyer.
It's time for South Dakota's Sports Talk Show. This is the Nate Brown Show, featuring live callers, great interviews, and thought-provoking sports talk. From the biggest national names to the hottest stories across South Dakota. Welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
All right, welcome in. Tuesday edition of the program, back and ready to go. Let's do it up here on the Nate Brown Show, South Dakota Sports Talk Show. Thanks for making the show possible, being a part of the fun each afternoon. It's fun, right? Well, we try. We're going to do our best. 2 hours, thought-provoking sports talk live. Fox Sports Radio, South Dakota Sports Talk Show with a great guest lineup tonight. And just because football's over doesn't mean sports ends. I mean, let's stick with this thing. Let's get it rolling. A lot to cover tonight. Local, regional, national, we got you covered on Fox Sports Radio. Remember, you can stream us live right now. Welcome you in on X if you're watching across the state. Wherever you're at, follow the show at Nate Brown Show and watch us live on X right now. At Nate Brown Show, you've got us. And one more chance there on YouTube. Stream us live. YouTube channel is The Nate Brown Show, streaming live on YouTube. Let's look at the guest lineup. Good one tonight. Really, really good. I said, hey, football's over. Well, we got to get some guys on, some big A-listers tonight, so let's do it. The Nate Brown Show guest lineup is the Forever Lawn guest lineup, brought to you by Forever Lawn. The best lineup of artificial grass. Remember them? You may have not looked into this. Maybe you don't know what it's all about. I didn't. I went to their headquarters. This stuff's phenomenal. I'm looking at it going, man, you could put in the golf greens in the backyard, chipping, putting. You got some land, you're good. How about the landscape grass? It looks really good, and then it's maintenance-free, so you don't have to spend all summer taking care of it. Forever Lawn, artificial grass, also for canine grass, sports grass, playground grass. Take a look. Google them right now. Forever Lawn in South Dakota. So if you've thought about it, you're thinking, what's this all about? Google them, Forever Lawn in South Dakota, and get started on their spring and summer schedule in 2025. The Forever Lawn guest lineup tonight. I said A-listers. I'm serious about that. How about we go with Tip Ryman? Tip Ryman, St. Thomas More tight end, finished up his high school career at O'Gorman. He had his rookie season in the NFL for the Arizona Cardinals, and I've got him tonight live from Phoenix. So Tip Ryman coming up, Arizona Cardinals tight end. Just want to talk about his first season, the adjustment, the whole thing, his journey so far. Had a nice season for the Cardinals. Tip Ryman live tonight from Phoenix. We will go with Mike Golick Jr. Haven't talked to Mike for a while. A lot of football topics to get into. We'll hit it. Mike Golick Jr. of Gojo and Golick. He's on tonight. We'll go to Zach Borg live from Dakota News Now, sports anchor out of Sioux Falls. Zach Borg is your South Dakota Chiefs homer, and I didn't see any Chiefs tweets. Well, a few. I mean, we dealt with a few, Zach. We're going to talk Chiefs reaction. I believe the Chiefs dynasty is changing. What does Zach say? And then some high school sports topics, of course, with Zach Borg. Dakota News Now from Sioux Falls. And Mike Erickson's on tonight. Who's Mike? Well, this is interesting. So yesterday on the show, we did a question of the day, as we always do, and we said, what about looking at girls' high school flag football in South Dakota? Would you ever look at that? And should we even look at it? Just open up and just see. Not about sanctioning or anything like that, but just open it up. 55% of my audience on the show yesterday, I saw the final results early this morning, 55% say yes, South Dakota should look at girls' high school flag football as starting a pilot program. Mike Erickson is the de facto commissioner of the Montana High School Girls Flag Football League. Yeah, he's the guy that's in the middle of that thing. He's the activities director out of Billings, Lockwood High School. And he said, I don't know how this happened, but I organized it. I put jamborees together. I'm part of the state playoffs this past year at Bobcat Stadium in Bozeman. So I wanted to get on a guy that's done this, been there, done that, right in the middle of it, an activities director. Is this possible in a state like South Dakota? Well, Mike Erickson's running it in Montana out of Billings, Lockwood High School AD, and girls flag football, I would say commissioner. Can we say that? Mike Erickson's coming up, so that'll be a fun one. Tuesday show looks good. Let's get going. 605-720-1067 is the Pizza Ranch hotline. If you want to be a part of the show, we'll get you on best we can. 605-720-1067. Barron's Wilson text line, same story. If you can't call, text the show. 605-720-1067. Okay, we are set. So how about this? Last week, people are kind of fired up, and I want to know where you stand on this, because as Rapid City's own, Adam Vinatieri is the NFL's all-time leading scorer. He's the NFL's all-time leading scorer. We know the story of Adam Vinatieri, right? We know the story as good as anybody. So he's up for the Hall of Fame first try, and he doesn't get in. So there's been reaction from the NFL world the last couple of days. It kind of, gets buried by the Super Bowl, as you might expect. So there's kind of been a reaction, but I thought from a Rapid City sports perspective, what do we think about Adam Vinatieri not getting into the Hall of Fame on the first try? Now, I'm going to say this today. Adam Vinatieri will get into the Hall of Fame. That's a guarantee, right? What is there, 5 kickers? 5 kickers into the Hall of Fame? Adam Vinatieri's the all-time leading scorer in the league. The career is long. The Super Bowls are there. So the story and the success and the stats, they're all there. So Adam Vinatieri helped teams like the Patriots win Super Bowls. And so Adam Vinatieri will be a Hall of Famer. He is a Hall of Fame NFL player. Can we say that? Absolutely. Here's what I'm thinking about what happened. This is a kicker thing, and I'm going to throw this out there to the audience, by the way, you football tough guys. I want the football guys. should kickers get treated differently than other players like Jared Allen, who goes in from the Vikings, Sterling Sharp from the Packers, Antonio Gates, tight end, and then the longtime guy, he's been on this forever, Eric Allen, the cornerback. Had a great career, right? But not one of those guys you throw like way, way to the top of the list. He was very good, but kind of undervalued. Does a kicker get evaluated differently than those other players, than any other player? As a matter of fact, my take on it is that they do. I absolutely believe they do. Now, I'm asking you, is that right? Is that Adam Vinatieri not get into the Hall of Fame this past week? He's going to get in. He didn't get in the first try. Is it right to evaluate kickers? Should they be viewed differently as you take a look at Hall of Fame players and NFL players? Should kickers be viewed differently? That's my question of the day. 605-720-1067. 605-720-1067. Let me get to the early vote on the Nate Brown Show question of the day. Adam Vinatieri didn't get in. I'm here to tell you this will happen. I don't know when. It'll be interesting. Is it going to take a long time? I mean, I don't know how this all plays out. I'm still trying to figure out. Mike Shanahan's not even in there as a coach. Mike Shanahan's not in as a coach, two-time Super Bowl winning coach. Some of his principles and offenses still being used in the NFL. And Mike Shanahan's not a Hall of Fame NFL coach. I don't get that one. I'll even throw out you Chiefs fans like Marty Schottenheimer. Marty Schottenheimer, I understand not the big wins like Andy Reid. Marty Schottenheimer as a coach isn't a Hall of Fame coach. So I don't exactly know. I'm confident today to say Adam Vinatieri will get into the Hall of Fame. We'd be crazy to think that he does not. How many years? Is it going to take a long time? You go back like Ray Guy. You guys know this, the legendary Ray Guy. Best punter out there. Took forever. So will Adam Vinatieri take a long time to get in? I don't know if they're going to play that game. What I'm telling you is I do think kickers get viewed differently. And I want to say this. Should kickers be viewed differently? I kind of think they should. Adam Vinatieri is the most accomplished, you could argue, kicker. Longevity, Super Bowls, clutch kicks. So we're talking as a kicker, what makes you great? Pressure, performing. He hit everything that he needed to hit. That was the difference between Adam Vinatieri and maybe a guy that could kick really long, maybe accuracy throughout the season the whole time. He was the clutch guy. And if you want kickers to be a Hall of Fame level, like you got to be special, yes, you got to have all the points, the longevity, the clutch gene, that's Vinatieri. So I'm going to tell you, you got to perform as a player, and I'm thinking kickers get treated a little bit differently. I get it. My brother used to say, we need these guys, but they're kickers. He used to say, he was a linebacker, give him a break. So these guys are in the battle every play. The position players, they get in, and here's why I can't go crazy today. Some Rapid City, South Dakota folks are, Adam Vinatieri's not into the Hall of Fame. This is the all-time great kicker. Eli Manning didn't get into the Hall of Fame. That's a bad deal, too, is it not? I mean, Eli Manning, 2 Super Bowls, 2 Super Bowl MVPs, and he is top 11 in quarterback history, touchdowns and yards. A lot of people wouldn't say, Eli Manning is up there with the great. You can argue it. He's not Peyton Manning. He's Eli Manning. Speaking of clutch, 2 Super Bowls, 2 Super Bowl MVPs, top 11 touchdowns and passing yards. Top 11 all time. And somehow, well, no Hall of Fame for Eli Manning. So you tell me how they do it. I'm not so sure. But I do think the kicking side of it for Adam Vinatieri, he might have to wait a little bit. Is it a raw deal? To a point. But kickers get treated differently. I do get that, by the way. Let's take a look at the poll question. Do you think kickers should be viewed differently than other players for Hall of Fame candidacy? Do you think kickers should be viewed differently than other players? 81% of you say no, he should have been in anyway. 81% of you say don't view kickers different. Well, they just do. And it is different. You're not out there every play. You're impacting the game, but it is a few tries a time, potentially. For example, Harrison Butker, the Chiefs kicker, he didn't even make an appearance in the Super Bowl. I mean, he didn't even step on the field in the Super Bowl. And I know that's how that game went for the Chiefs, but just gives you a picture. The kickers are different as they impact the game. I think that's right. And I think that impacts Adam Vinatieri from the Hall of Fame standpoint. 81% of you, though, South Dakota homers say he should have been in, don't view kickers differently. 19% say gotta view kickers differently. They just kick. Okay, a couple players that you're thinking about here. Pro Football Hall of Fame class. Did you see who was in? I went through that. Vikings, Jared Allen, you guys know him. Antonio Gates, tight end. Sterling Sharp finally gets in there, Packers wide receiver. And then Eric Allen, the DB, Eagles, Raiders throughout his career. So Eric Allen in there. Pro Football Hall of Fame next year. And so you start going, does Eli Manning get in for sure? Does Adam Vinatieri just get in on the second try? How's this going to play out? Here's one for you. Nobody would think of it. Luke Kuechly. What? Luke Kuechly. You just look at his numbers. Defensive Player of the Year, back-to-back seasons, 7 Pro Bowls, and All-Pro first team 5 times. That means the best of the best. All-Pro is the number one. Best of the best 5 times. No Luke Kuechly into the Hall of Fame either. So it's a kind of it's one of those clubs, not like baseball totally, where the writers just manipulate and they make you hang on and they make you do this. Say, if you don't get in right away, you're not a real Hall of Famer. The NFL's a little bit different. Guys have to wait around a little bit, so I think Adam Vinatieri may be waiting a little longer. I don't know if he gets in the second year either. I don't know. It's how this plays out. Kickers, yes, are viewed differently. And I see it. So they're going to get position players just a little bit ahead. They're going to put them a little bit ahead of kickers. Vinatieri will get there. I absolutely believe that. You let me know. You view kickers differently. I do. I view kickers differently than position players, and so does the Hall of Fame on the NFL side. Adam will be there as the best of the best, but I think they're going to wait just a little bit. Speaking of waiting, I want to hit on this South Dakota sports topic as we get set. Then I'll get to my first guest, Mike Erickson, tonight from Billings, Montana, the commissioner, I would call him, of Montana high school girls flag football. It's an interesting story. We'll get to that. Speaking of waiting here, we're going to wait and see how this plays out. Right here in South Dakota, of high school sports getting covered on SDPB. So South Dakota public broadcasting leaders were talking to lawmakers in Pierre just last week. It's going to come back up this week. And this process of the appropriations and government budget, we're going to find out a little bit more later this week where the budget is going to be when it comes to cuts and what that does to high school sports coverage. So I'm going to keep an eye on it. The recommendation, $3.6 million budget cut, and SDPB saying that's going to be a domino effect. So if they get cut like that, they're going to lose programming, local programming, and that's what that type of stuff means. So let's see where this goes. The Appropriations Committee's been looking at SDPB. Dan Swartos, the executive director of the Activities Association's been commenting at these hearings. Hey, I don't think there's other companies that would step in and cover all of these high school state events if we didn't have SDPB. So here's my guess. I don't know anybody behind the scenes. Here's my guess. I don't think SDPB is going to get their full budget as they're used to getting. That's my guess. I don't know the negotiations and the lobbyists and everybody that's getting after it up in Pierre. There's things that change, and I hope that that's the case. But my guess is there's going to be some cuts. I don't know if it's going to be the end of high school sports coverage on STPB. But when it's recommended in a budget that says, hey, there's big money here and we got to find some things to cut, I think they are going to cut STPB. I don't know by how much. That's my guess, and that's why I think people are pretty fired up about it, because you're going, well, then STPB, what are they going to decide? There's the process to me. If there is cuts, then STPB has to decide, what are we going to keep going here? Because we got engineering costs. We want to make sure that we have the important stuff, the Amber Alerts, the emergency alert system. I mean, some of this major stuff that people, I think, just gloss over. They don't even really think about. STPB can be heard throughout the state. Okay, and I know we dial in on the high school sports side, and we think that's great, and it's great coverage, and that's what we want. There's other stuff they do. So then what does STPB do if there is a cut? And that's my guess. I don't think they're just going to go, well, it was recommended to cut almost $4 million. Yeah, we're just going to leave it as it is. Maybe they're having great steak dinners and talking about it tonight. That would be nice. The lobbyists are the ones with the steak dinners, right? And maybe that's the case. I'm guessing we're going to find out later this week. I think there might be some cuts to STPB. What does that do to high school sports? Very big behind-the-scenes situation there developing in Pierre. Legislative session, not much longer. Not much longer, and I think this is going to be a big one. So I don't think it's just going to go, hey, yeah, no, this was kind of a big story for about a month, and then, we got a full budget, everything's good to go. I think they were looking at the budget. There's targets to cuts. The cuts, I think, are going to happen. I don't think they're going to go back to just nothing. What does it do to high school sports coverage? Let's see here. All right. I want to get to Mike Erickson, Lockwood High School out of Billings, Montana. So he's the activities director up there. Why are we having him on? He is right in the middle. He started helping with girls high school flag football. They've had state championships the last couple of years. He says this is a huge sport. Crowds show up. He said they've gotten more for a flag football game at a Montana school than a boys' high school football game. That's what he said at one of the schools up there. Mike Erickson from Lockwood High School. Would girls' high school flag football ever work in South Dakota? We'll talk to him as we get going next.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
Playground Grass by Forever Lawn is the high-performance artificial turf providing kids a safe, soft, beautiful surface for unrestrained play. Because the harder kids play, the harder they sometimes fall. Playground Grass is IPMA certified, meets ASTM standards, and is ADA compliant. Playground Grass is softer, cleaner, and safer than pea gravel, rubber mulch, and wood chips. Call 605-831-9026 or Google Forever Lawn in South Dakota. With dealerships on both sides of the state, we're ready to help you make your playground fun again. Forever Lawn in South Dakota.
This isn't just the sound of a legendary Brunswick pool table. It's the sound of families about to make memories together. And while this may sound like the hum of a spa, listen closely and you'll hear backyard fun for years to come. So while Splash City's guarantee of quality sure sounds good, we know quality time sounds even better.
Who wants another burger?
Splash City, 1024 West Omaha, across from Connects in Rapid City.
Gear up for the ultimate outdoor adventure at the Black Hills Sports Show and Outdoor Expo, happening February 14 through 16 at the Monument in Rapid City. This exciting event features over 100 dealers and vendors, along with activities like the Best Buck or Bull Contest, Kids Zones, and the South Dakota Youth Hunting Adventures live and silent auctions on Saturday night. Explore ATVs, boats, campers, vendors, and so much more, all under one roof February 14 through 16. Visit bhsportshow.com for more info.
The wait is over. We're clearing out our 2024 models at Spearfish GMC Cadillac. We've discounted all of our remaining 2024 models, but don't wait because stock is limited. New 2024 Sierra 1500 up to $9,300 off. 24 GMC Yukon as low as $71,927. Remaining 24 Sierra HDs up to $6,000 off. And 24 Cadillac Lyriq EV up to $10,000 off. Spearfish GMC Cadillac, online all always at spearfishmotors.com.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. Lows dip down to about 7 below. Tonight, under mainly cloudy skies, westerly winds around 5 miles per hour. High temperatures reach up to 7 above tomorrow. 4 below tomorrow night, mainly clear. Mainly sunny Thursday with a high of 35. 29, slight chance of snow Friday. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Currently, it's 4 degrees above zero.
Whether you run the race, make the catch, cast a line, pitch a tent, or just look good doing it, Shields Rapid City has your gear. From athletic clothing from your favorite team, cold weather gear to keep you warm, to the best camping selection this side of the Black Hills, and the most stylish and functional women's outerwear and footwear. Shields has the widest selection of the best brands in the business. So when you're ready to get out, get in the game, or get going, get to Shields. Shields, we're right there with you at Rushmore Crossing in Rapid City.
Hi, it's Nate Brown for Black Hills Community Bank. If you run your own company or you're looking to start a small business here in the Black Hills, you want to make sure you choose the right banking partner. And I know the right choice for business is Black Hills Community Bank. They have plenty of banking options to suit your specific needs. And Black Hills Community Bank is here to help business owners thrive and to make sure you have the support and tools to help your business grow. Just contact one of their business loan experts today or visit bhcbank.com. Member FDIC.
From high school to college to the pros, from Rapid City to Sioux Falls, the Nate Brown Show is South Dakota's sports talk show.
Welcome back in. The Nate Brown Show is on Fox Sports Radio. It's South Dakota's sports talk show. Stream us anywhere. And X, Nate Brown Show, right? You can get us on your phone, computer, on X. Follow us at Nate Brown Show and watch the show live. Welcome in studio. Packed show tonight. Mike Golick Jr. is coming up talking NFL recap of the season and more. Mike Golick Jr. back in one more time. Tip Ryman's on tonight. Arizona Cardinals rookie tight end just wrapped up his first year. Of course, Rapid City guy played here in St. Thomas More, finished up in Sioux Falls O'Gorman. Tip Ryman just got drafted by the Cardinals. Had a nice year in his first year. He'll join us from Phoenix coming up. Pack show tonight. Well, I got to tell you, I'm from Montana. You guys know this, right? From Montana. Did media up there for a few years. Played high school football. You know, all that good stuff. And then I've been on this here ever since the Super Bowl. 15 states are playing girls' high school flag football. And so I asked this question on the show yesterday. Is this something that actually is going to go? Would South Dakota look at this? Is it popular? Is there enough demand? I'm not talking sanctioning right now. I'm talking a pilot program like Minnesota did. Montana's got it going. And a guy who's right in the middle of it, he's the activities director at Lockwood High School. Lockwood High School is right there in Billings, and he's been involved in this heavily. Girls high school flag football out of Montana, and it's the activities director there at Lockwood. It's a new school up there, Mike Erickson, and he joins us on the Nate Brown Show on the Pizza Ranch Hotline. Mike, thanks for the time after school. I appreciate it. How are you?
Great. Thanks for reaching out. I'm excited to chat a little bit about the new sport of girls flag football, like you say.
This is something I got to say, because I said, okay, Montana, kind of similar to South Dakota, you know, big state, geography-wise, demographics, small towns, some metro areas. So you guys are doing high school girls flag football, and I think you're going to tell me it's kind of been a spark. It's pretty popular. I just want to know, why'd you get why'd you get this thing essentially started? You're right in the middle of it. You're like the commissioner.
Well, yeah. Unfortunately, that's where it ended up this year. I didn't get it started. There was 4 schools in the state that jumped in. And to go back a little bit, the Atlanta Falcons with the Arthur Blank that owns lands in the Paradise Valley and things like that have been pushing this here in Montana for almost 8 years. And once a few schools just started jumping on board, and there was 4 our very first year, and I was not a part of it. I heard about it and was intrigued. On the second year, I jumped in, and so we had 5 teams in the state, which it went from Kalispell to Butte to St. Ignatius, and then all the way into Billings. So like you said, vast area, traveling 7 hours to go play some girls' flag football that first year that we were in. But understand this. It's all promoted by the Arthur Blank Foundation and the Atlanta Falcons, so the funding is 100% free for everybody.
Yeah, that's a big thing,
and it's a huge thing, right?
Okay, I want to ask you about the growth there, because I think I saw it's up to 17 teams this past year, and then you think it's going to be even more this next year.
Yeah, like right now, I just was emailing every school in the state of Montana the last 2 months and put a last one out here. Well, it wouldn't be the last email out, but we're potentially up to 30. We're going to double our teams this year from what we currently had, and I don't see it stopping. I really don't. It's just such a powerful sport that girls get to play that they're not used to playing, right? It's a sport where they might get to play at a family reunion, asked by their brothers or something. But when you see this sport live with girls playing football, it's a non-contact sport, but there's a lot of incidental contact. It's fast. Games are an hour. And it's just changing lives of girls, and it's changing school cultures as well.
I think it's awesome. I threw out a question of the day here in South Dakota yesterday. I always ask the question of the day. I said, should South Dakota look at this? Just be open to looking at it. 55% of my audience, just an unscientific poll, said, absolutely, we should go for this. 45% say, oh, I don't know if there's enough demand. Yeah, I don't know how they know that. Why do you think it has grown? You're telling me there is a lot of demand. Why do girls want to play this?
Well, I'll tell you, we just jumped in and we had 7 girls signed up. It's a 7-on sport, so we knew 7 girls wanted to play. And so we ran with it. By the second week of our season, we ended up with doubled numbers to 15, and our first year doubled that again and ended up, close to doubled, ended up with 25 girls on our team. That's within that first year. Now we have a varsity and JV team, and we're seeing the majority of our teams that have been in it for 1 or 2 years now have anywhere from 25 to 35 to 40 girls that are participating. And you understand that a lot of these kids are the kids that are just walking your hallways.
Yeah.
Right, not doing anything. A lot of schools, and which we are one of them, that allow girls to double sport. Some play volleyball, some run cross country, and we just work around the schedules.
Okay. Mike Erickson joins us. He's the activities director up in Billings, Lockwood High School, girls flag football in Montana. The program's been a success. It's funded by the Atlanta Falcons, the Arthur Blank Foundation. So what was it like, the state playoffs? It's at Bobcat Stadium. I'm thinking about this. Montana State, 7:30 state championship. What's that like?
Yeah, I mean, that's something that will be forever remembered on these girls' minds for the rest of their lives. And, I mean, we were watching the Bobcats playing the national champion in all these games prior to that, and we're sitting in the gym watching it on the big screen, and these girls are saying, we played on that field, right? And that's something that's just a lifelong memory for these kids. And not to say it's going to be that way every year as we grow. We're just lucky and fortunate enough to be able to play there. We're looking at the Grizz Stadium next year. And also, being from Columbus, I'm working on trying to get the state championship games in the Metro indoors on our Arena Football League.
Okay, that'd be cool. Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, so we're just trying to honestly promote this sport. You saw the Super Bowl ads yesterday about girls flag football. It's not going anywhere. It's here. And I honestly think, I'm going to add on to this, and you can quote me, I truly feel like in the next 10 years, you're going to see boys flag football.
Oh, really? Okay. That's very interesting.
It's powerful. It's been talked about in all the other states that have sanctioned this. It's on the topic of discussion. It's a sport that kids are loving to play. And I'll tell you one thing. What was so neat about it is our girls, after their first year, after their first weekend of flag football, we had a high school football game. Our girls flag football team asked if they could be down on the football field cheering on our boys. And the reason why they said that is because now they understand football. They know what a first down is, right? That's something that girls don't tend to understand at a young age.
Right.
And so they're so included in our football program as well now too, and our boys have just taken them on as part of the brotherhood and the sisterhood of it.
Yeah, that's great. I love it. It's interesting. My daughter, it's just a sophomore, so this is going to pass her by, if South Dakota ever gets on the train. But she said, man, I would have played this. That was the first thing she said when she said, I would have played this. I wanted to play this. Last one here. Is it something that you kind of need outside sourcing funding because sanctioning gets tough, schools are then in charge? Is it something like South Dakota would need to talk to the Vikings, talk to the Broncos, because the NFL's behind this? That seems like that matters.
Well, right now, the Atlanta Falcons, and as much work as I've put into Montana, they're talking to me about reaching out to different states, and it's closing fast because these NFL teams are finding these states that are unclaimed right now, and they've talked to me about driving to South Dakota and talking to the high school association and trying to get the ball moving and sanction that, and not sanction it, but be a part of South Dakota.
Yeah.
And so I can see it coming. I can see an NFL team coming. And here's what I tell all the people that are worried about the funding. Don't say no right now. If you guys get funded by an NFL team, take the money, create an atmosphere, and in 3 years or 4 years or 5 years when the money kind of dissipates and leaves, then let the board decide if it's important for your school or not. And I'll tell you what, they will find out that it's not going anywhere. And that's the way I would approach it. A lot of them are still self-funded, the programs that have been in long enough. It's non-sanctioned, so you don't have to follow all the high school association rules, right? So they can self-fund this.
Yeah.
And do some stuff because they feel like it's important. The Glacier High School in Kalispell, 64 girls are out for flag football.
Wow. That's quite something. That's quite something. You say you're going to be about 30 teams doubling by next year in Montana. Lockwood High School, he's the AD up there out of Billings, Mike Erickson, and a big part of girls high school flag football. Mike, I appreciate you hopping on short notice. I wanted to get your read on it and kind of stay on this. I appreciate the insight.
Absolutely, and whatever I can do for South Dakota, I'm very passionate about this sport. I would love to come talk to the high school association. If they have any questions, feel free to reach out to me.
Well, I appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Appreciate his time. Mike Erickson on tonight from Billings, Lockwood High School, activities director, and really a big part of girls high school flag football now, and the growth is just exponential now in Montana. And I always look at Montana because it's like, well, yeah, it's not like Texas, right? I mean, South Dakota are kind of, is it going to work in a state like ours? That's kind of a state like ours. Similar. Each state's different, but kind of a state like ours. Big geography, travel, schools, some big ones, some small ones. There's some small towns up there that have girls' high school flag football. I think I saw Absaroka. I know Absaroka. That's a small town. They have girls' high school flag football. Is South Dakota going to take a look? I think it's worth a discussion. Appreciate Mike Erickson coming on from Lockwood High School out of Billings. Let's go to Mike Golick Jr., great guest. He's back from the Super Bowl. What's Mike Golick Jr. have to say about the Chiefs and the next upcoming NFL season? Gojo and Golick host Mike Golick Jr. on the way.
This is the Nate Brown.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds to share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one, so you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
At Renewal by Anderson, we ask, why should we only feel the love on Valentine's Day in February? We have declared the entire month of February as the month of love. That's right, we did it. We laugh at February snow and cold. We love installing the best new windows and doors. We love how warm, cozy, quiet, and more valuable our awesome windows and doors make our customers' homes. Love, love, love. Tell someone you love them today. And please book your free estimate right now at RVARapidCity.com. Feel the love every day in February with Renewal by Anderson.
Glad you made it. Go ahead and put your hot dish on the picnic table with the others.
But won't it get cold? Oh, little announcement. We will be eating outside in the cold tonight. Not my idea.
But June, it's starting to snow.
Cheapskate Jerry here. What? Thought we could go another year before we replaced our drafty old windows.
If only June and Jerry had done a free consultation with Renewal by Anderson, their new replacement windows would be in, and their guests wouldn't be out in the cold.
Swedish meatball, anyone?
Only if I could eat it inside. Trust me, it's warmer out here than it is in the house.
If only they knew that Renewal has acclaimed custom windows and ensemble doors to keep their home warm and cozy. With financing options even Cheapskate Jerry can afford.
What?
My fingers are frozen.
Mine and nose hairs are frozen.
Mine broke off.
Worst party ever.
Make the best decision for your home with exclusive custom-fit acclaimed windows and ensemble doors. Only from Renewal by Anderson. Learn more at RBARapidCity.com.
The doctors and staff at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center have provided expert bone, joint, and muscle care to patients in the Black Hills area since 1976. Whether you're an elite athlete, a weekend warrior, or just want to continue your active lifestyle, the orthopedic experts at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center will help you stay in the game. Don't let an injury keep you from doing the things you love. Trust the team at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center, specializing in what moves you. Learn more at BHOSC.com.
If you're in the market for a vehicle right now, you probably have noticed it's sometimes hard to find the right one. That's where Summit Automotive Group steps in. Stacy and Matt and their staff working hard to get a great selection of pre-owned vehicles at affordable prices. At Summit Automotive, they have a different outlook on selling you a vehicle. You'll experience stress-free shopping, friendly, honest service with no high-pressure sales gimmicks. Before you buy, drop by East Highway 44, SummitAutoGRP.com.
Live callers, big-time interviews, and breaking sports news. This is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate Brown.
It is South Dakota Sports Talk Show Tuesday edition. Glad you're here. Appreciate you being a part of the program. If you missed some parts of the show, from high school to college to the pros, we try and get you new content, new guests each time out. We don't repeat segments, record guests playing back all the time. So go to the Nate Brown Show podcast. Every show is there. Just search The Nate Brown Show where you get your podcast. Apple, Spotify, Amazon, the list goes on. So search The Nate Brown Show and you've got the podcast with all of our guests. Tonight, Tip Ryman joins us from Phoenix. Rapid City High School starts St. Thomas More. Rookie tight end for the Arizona Cardinals. Just finished up his first year in the NFL. Tip Ryman coming up, talking about his first year in the league. Mike Golick Jr. is back from the Super Bowl. Gojo and Golick is the show. He's on X at Mike Golick Jr. Mike, welcome back on. How are you?
Doing well. How you doing, Nate?
Doing good, man. Thanks for the time. You were busy down in New Orleans. Your grade for the overall experience, Super Bowl New Orleans?
As A+. New Orleans is a phenomenal host city. They do a great job every time the Super Bowl's down there. I think now tied with Miami for the most times hosting as a Super Bowl city. It's just, the party atmosphere, the way that they're able to absorb all the different and unique parts of the week, still make it feel special and germane to that area. And, most importantly, I think for everyone down there, especially coming off what happened at the Sugar Bowl, created a really safe environment. You never felt like you were in any danger and, got everyone to game day in the best possible shape.
Okay, so let's talk about the game now. It's been talked about and discussed, and Mahomes and the bad game that he had. I'm not saying Mahomes is going to, taking a downturn. Is it overreactive to say the Chiefs may not be dominant like they have been? You tell me.
No, I think two things can be true at once, right? This is still an incredibly special team, and even to get within shouting distance of a three-peat requires a level of focus, determination, quality in the team, quarterback play from Mahomes, and the great coaching staff that we wax poetic about all week. All those things are still true on the other side right now. They just ran into a roster that was infinitely better than theirs in so many areas, but most specifically in the trenches on both sides of the football. Maybe infinitely is a little bit too strong, but we saw the way that showed up, especially for the Philly D-line against the Chiefs O-line. There was no contest, really, especially on the perimeter with that group, and so they ran into a dominant team that had gone out and had one of the best off seasons in recent history in the NFL that Howie Roseman put together with the players and coaches that they brought over. And so I think the Chiefs can still be a great football team. And you're right, maybe not as dominant as they were, as evidenced by the fact that the stat we most oft reference was, hey, they're 17-0 in their last one-score games. What does that tell you, especially because all of those came in the last 2 years? They played a lot of one-score games, and eventually in this league, sometimes you're going to be the bear, but sometimes the bear is going to get you, and they ran into a bear shaped like an eagle.
Okay, so here's my hot take, if it's a hot take. Chiefs will not be in the AFC Championship. They've been there every year with Pat Mahomes. I said they're not going to be there now this next year. You say, where do they stand in the AFC?
Oh, I mean, I think they're right in that same lumping of teams at the top with them, Buffalo and the Baltimore Ravens. You know, we got to still wait and see. It's a work in progress on, you know, Los Angeles and the Chargers in their own division, the Cincinnati Bengals and the tough AFC North. So I think the Chiefs are still right to connect with those groups. They're going to have a lot to do this offseason. We know some important free agents on that team, got to fix the offensive line situation that clearly wasn't good enough when it got to the highest level of competition and how they grade success around there. But I still think based on that franchise's history, what Brett Veach has done for that front office and everything about that coaching staff that, like I said, still remains true, they're in a pretty good state to remain among the AFC elite.
Mike Golic Jr. joins us tonight. The show is Gojo and Golic. Find him on Twitter at Mike Golic Jr. Super Bowl reaction. Now some off-season stuff. So if you're like the Raiders, do you take a shot at Aaron Rodgers? Because you don't have a ton of options here. Would that work?
I guess it's going to be how do we define a work? And that's for all parties involved, right? I had this argument with Dad the other day on air saying, would Aaron Rodgers want to go to a place that's not a contender? He was playing for one that's not a contender. He went to the ultimate not contender in the New York Jets and wanted to go back there. They didn't want to have him this offseason, so he's got a tolerance for pain. That means there's a lot of these teams on the table that might be in his wheelhouse that could work. And so, yeah, I think, listen, this doesn't seem like a draft where you're inclined to spend resources to pay to get up in the draft to get one of the two quarterbacks that we really talk about as being near the top. And so that means everyone else is going to be searching for guys to bring in as veteran competition or to get them over in the year. And I think with Las Vegas after last year, you realize pretty quickly that going into the season with Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell as your best option, no disrespect to them, but it's just not something that can work. And so Aaron Rodgers, another year removed from the Achilles injury, maybe humbled a little bit by the way the situation went in New York, certainly going to come at a discount price-wise. All those things could make him someone appealing, especially for Pete Carroll, who's not intimidated by big personalities, to say the least. So I think them, I think the Tennessee Titans, I think even the Pittsburgh Steelers could all be teams to kick the tires on, Aaron.
What does Russell Wilson end up doing?
That's a good question. Probably being the next guy down the rung that one of those other teams signs. Like, I think we're in for an offseason where we're going to play musical chairs with a lot of quarterbacks that aren't anyone's future because we know this is the class that everyone was bracing for. It's why we saw 6 quarterbacks go in the first round last year. So I could see Russell Wilson sliding into any of those teams that we just mentioned who don't wind up with, you know, some combination of Aaron Rodgers or any of the other quarterbacks that could pop loose this offseason. There's a few of them, you know, Jameis Winston kind of in that veteran backup range that are going to probably command more than ever. And that's, you know, the same thing for who loses out on the Sam Darnold sweepstakes. I think that's probably the biggest domino to fall amongst the teams that are quarterback needy this offseason is what does Minnesota do with Sam Darnold? What does Sam Darnold decide for himself? And then once that domino falls, everyone else is going to kind of line up after that.
Mike Golic Jr., a couple more. I'll let him roll. He's on the Nate Brown Show tonight, Fox Sports Radio. Kellen Moore just wins with the Eagles as the OC, now the head coach for the Saints. I don't know how that works out. Saints aren't in a great place. What do you think of that hire?
Yeah, you know, they're another one that they're going to have to acknowledge this is going to be a multi-year rebuild. And we see that sounds good in theory until teams are actually faced with that. Cough, cough, the Las Vegas Raiders and Antonio Pierce. So I think there's going to have to be some acknowledgement there. you've got Derek Carr at a big number and probably aren't going to get rid of him this year. I think that becomes more palatable next season. And for all the reasons we talked about, again, this is probably not the offseason to go quarterback hunting or try and make meaningful change there. If they stay healthy, listen, we saw early in the season that was an offensive line that looked like one of the better ones in the NFL. All the motion and some of the weapons they were able to make use of there got them going in the first couple of games, those 40-point outings. And so there are some things to work with there, but for the most part, this is going to be about how do they organize themselves and finally reconcile with the reality that is the salary cap. We heard all along the cap isn't real, the cap isn't real. The cap is very real, and it's crushing them to death. So I think for them, they're going to have to figure out that part first. But Kellen Moore, we saw this year, went over, increased the amount of motion the Eagles offense used, still kept the formula simple with an offensive line and a running back he knew he could win with. And depending on what happens with Alvin Kamara, if he's a cap casualty or not, could be a similar formula for New Orleans while they try and survive in a bad division and get themselves to next year and hopefully can move some things around financially.
Okay, Hall of Fame class announced, Mike. You're a football player. Rapid City's own Adam Vinatieri, not in, all-time scoring leader. He's a kicker. Do kickers get treated differently?
They do. And, listen, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. Now, I thought Adam Vinatieri was enough of an outlier at the position, especially given the historic postseason moments he was a part of where that would have gotten him in sooner. He's going to get in eventually, but I do think we need to have a larger conversation about not just, specialists, but special teamers in general having a more pronounced role in the Hall of Fame going forward. But I'm not going to sit here and say that, I think they should be treated like everybody else here. It's comparatively lesser play. It's a different aspect of the game, and it's going to take incredible, true greatness to really stand out in that field. Adam Vinatieri's got that. He's going to get in, and it was interesting this time around for a lot of reasons that the class ended up being only at 4, considering some of the names, including Vinatieri, that were in there.
Yeah, Eli Manning gets in, right? He didn't get in. What about Luke Kuechly? What about Kuechly?
Kuechly and Suggs were the ones that surprised me the most, and that probably go along with guys like Willie Anderson or Jahri Evans not getting in as that offensive line pipeline kind of gets jammed up right now. But Luke was the one that surprised me the most. I get the career was cut short by injury in a way that makes it an interesting eval, but my God, you just look at the accolades during that time period, and that guy got every drop out of the experience, was absolutely one of the best, if not the best, off-ball linebacker for multiple years of his career, and that's usually at a baseline what we ask for. So I was a little stunned, again, given the fact that they left one on the table. This could have been a class of 5. I thought him or Terrell Suggs, given all the sack production and the Super Bowl accolades for him, too, would have gotten him over. So both of those stunned me a bit.
You didn't say Eli Manning.
No, I didn't think Eli Manning should get in on the first ballot. I thought Eli Manning has 2 all-time great postseason runs, and really, if we go through it with a fine-tooth comb, one incredible postseason run and Super Bowl performance, and another that was very good where Justin Tuck probably should have been the MVP, but he's not a first-ballot Hall of Famer. He's a first-ballot NFL name and family, but that's about where it ends. He's going to get in eventually, but I think not having him in on the first ballot was the right call.
Mike Golic Jr., great to have you as always, man. Appreciate you coming on. Thanks a lot.
Thanks for having me, Nate. Appreciate it.
Appreciate your time. Mike Golic Jr., fresh off the Super Bowl on Gojo and Golic, his show nationwide. Find him on X at Mike Golic Jr. Gojo and Golic on DraftKings. Mike Golic Jr. on the Nate Brown Show. We got listener texts on the Adam Vinatieri deal. So Rapid City's own Adam Vinatieri, not into the Hall of Fame. I said he is a transformational kicker, right? Huge clutch moments. Patriots Super Bowl victories that he accounted for. He made those kicks. That is the difference between just being a great kicker and one of the best of all time. And so I still think kickers are treated differently. And Mike said what I said. I don't think that's a terrible thing. I think you have to treat kickers differently. Oh, come on. No, you got to treat them differently. He will be a Hall of Famer. He is unbelievable with his career. All-time scoring leader, so he's a Hall of Famer at his position. But kickers are treated differently. How about the Eli Manning hit from Mike Golic Jr.? Eli Manning and Mike Golic Jr. saying Luke Kuechly should be in there. Luke Kuechly, for sure, the Carolina Panthers linebacker. Hey, we got a listener text on Luke Kuechly. This might be the first time we've ever received a listener text. Breaking news on Luke Kuechly on the Nate Brown Show. Listener text, Luke Kuechly in the Hall of Fame. Thanks for the joke of the day. Funny. You know what's not funny? First team All-Pro 5 times. Defensive Player of the Year back-to-back. That's funny. Come on. Let's talk. Come on now. We got to talk football players. Kuechly's a football player. Who do you think's better than Luke Kuechly, a linebacker? I mean, there's not a long list there. So Jared Allen gets in for the Vikings, right? So would you say Luke Kuechly is as good as Jared Allen? I would say yes. When you look at his career, I would say yes. Tip Ryman's coming up in the next hour of the Nate Brown Show. Rapid City's St. Thomas More star back in the day. And then he finished up at O'Gorman, played at Illinois in college, got drafted by the Cardinals this past year, and had a nice year, played a lot of football for the Cardinals, the rookie tight end for the Cardinals. Tip Ryman's coming up from Phoenix. First, let's take a look at the update on the question of the day. Should Adam Vinatieri be looked at differently for his Hall of Fame candidacy because he's a kicker? We'll take a look next.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one. So you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
At Renewal by Anderson, we ask, why should we only feel the love on Valentine's Day in February? We have declared the entire month of February as the month of love. That's right, we did it. We laugh at February snow and cold. We love installing the best new windows and doors. We love how warm, cozy, quiet, and more valuable our awesome windows and doors make our customers' homes. Love, love, love. Tell someone you love them today. And please book your free estimate right now at rbarapidcity.com. Feel the love every day in February with Renewal by Anderson.
We're talking with Rihanna Wickett at Elevate Performance Physical Therapy for another Elevate Performance Health Minute. Rihanna, as we all get older, one of the most common injuries, pains, back pain.
We see it every day.
There's a lot of things that can cause it, right?
Absolutely. There's a multitude of different things that can cause back pain, whether that's strength or something that you tweaked it. So it's really important that we get you looked at and figure out what's actually causing that, because so many things can cause the different types of back pain.
Okay, so what's interesting about it, you could have pain in the back, but then there's also a problem with your back, and now that turns into sciatica.
Yeah, sciatica, it tends to come down through the buttock into the leg, and back pain generally just stays right within the back. You might have something traveling, numbness and tingling, pain shooting down past the knee even, all the way to the foot. We definitely want to get that taken care of sooner than later. Back pain relief, sciatica relief. Get started at ElevatePerformanceSD.com.
At Highmark Credit Union, we are big sports fans, and even bigger fans of our teachers. That's why we offer debit cards featuring our local high school mascots on the front. These cards are awesome, and every time you use your card, Highmark makes a donation to the school activity clubs. Highmark has donated over $5,000 locally to Rapid City and Douglas schools. So make the smart money move, show your school spirit, and open an account at Highmark. Visit highmarkfcu.com.
Remember when Rapid City had 3 drive-in theaters? When Marine Life Aquarium was up on Highway 16? How about when Piggly Wiggly anchored Bacon Park? Remember when you could fix most any car with duct tape and baling wire? One look under the hood today is all the reminder you need that life goes on and technology waits for no one. No worries, the ASE certified pros at Al's D&I can handle it. Doesn't matter what decade or country it's from, Al's D&I can fix them. Check in at Al's D&I on Sturgis Road and online at alsdniautorepair.com.
You're listening to The Nate Brown Show, also streaming right now on X. Follow us and watch the show live at Nate Brown Show.
Welcome back in. The Nate Brown Show is live, Fox Sports Radio. All of our guests appear on the Pizza Ranch Studio Hotline. Coming up, hang on, second hour almost upon us. Tip Ryman's joining us live from Phoenix. Arizona Cardinals rookie tight end. Just wrapped up year number 1. We got Tip tonight. Appreciate his time after his first season. Tip Ryman played at St. Thomas More, great career, and then finished up out at Sioux Falls. O'Gorman, drafted by the Cardinals here out of Illinois. Tip Ryman straight ahead talking first year in the NFL. Zach Borg's on tonight. South Dakota's Chiefs homer. Zach Borg, you know that. Dakota News Now, sports anchor, Sioux Falls, straight ahead. I got to look at this update on the Adam Vinatieri Hall of Fame scenario, okay? I want to know if, with Adam Vinatieri not getting into the Hall of Fame on the first ballot here, first ballot, first try, do you think kickers should be viewed differently than other players? I believe they are viewed differently. I don't know how they see it. I'm not voting here, but I believe they are viewed differently, and I think that's the right call. I think that's the right call. These guys, when you're really, really good, and Adam Vinatieri is, arguably the most remembered, the best kicker, clutch time, Super Bowls of all time. Longevity's there, all-time leading scorer. I mean, he's in the record books. So Adam Vinatieri is going to be a Hall of Famer, but I do think they treat kickers differently, and I think you have to. So who's going to get in first? Adam Vinatieri or Eli Manning? Now that's something. I'm serious about that. Who would get in first? What about Luke Kuechly? We got one guy listening to the Nate Brown Show that's a Luke Kuechly hater. I've never seen it. Okay, let's see here. Listener text, if George Bland is a Hall of Famer, Adam Vinatieri is for sure a great Hall of Famer. Well, yes, he is. He's not getting in on the first ballot here this past week. Do you treat kickers differently? I'm surprised a little bit. I mean, I know we got South Dakota Sports Talk Show here, so we're all saying Adam Vinatieri should be in the Hall of Fame, but that's not the question. It's do you view and treat kickers differently than other players? And so you have to. With his accolades and his career and what he's done, he will be in the Hall of Fame. I don't know how long it'll take. He'll get there. But it's going to take a little while, and I'm serious. I was joking. Who goes in first, Eli Manning or Adam Vinatieri? That might be a barn burner. Like you're thinking about the coaching candidates. Mike Shanahan sitting here as the Broncos' 2-time Super Bowl champ and all the wins with the Broncos. It's not in the Hall of Fame. Mike Shanahan's not a Hall of Fame NFL coach. So it's kind of a grinder getting in there sometimes, even for some greats. 80% of the audience on Twitter on the Nate Brown Show said you have to treat kickers differently. Or no, sorry, it's the other way. 80% say you can't treat kickers differently. Adam Vinatieri should have been in on the first one. I understand. We always pull for the South Dakota guys. 20% of you are being honest today. Yes, kickers have to be viewed differently. It's not saying they're not important, but they're different aspects of the game. They impact the game differently. They play in way less plays. I mean, the whole thing. They're key. You got to be clutch, and Vinatieri was that. Okay? Vinatieri was that, so that makes a difference. But Lister text coming in. Blanda played QB also. Yeah, so take that. Take that. Let's see here. Lister text, Nate, I believe Vinatieri had 2 stellar careers, one with him being the all-time leading scorer and the other with his clutch kicks. He had 2 big kicks in the Blizzard game, plus he had 2 game-winning kicks in 2 Super Bowls, 4 Super Bowl rings. He should be an exception to other kickers. Yeah, I think he is the clutch exception. And I was talking about that in the first hour here. The thing people aren't getting, I think, with Adam Vinatieri, maybe, is the clutch. And that's what you have to have as a kicker. We don't remember the kickers that aren't clutch. They're just few and far between. Blair, well, I won't go there for you Vikings fans, okay? Blair Walsh, I'm sorry. But, sometimes, okay, I guess we do remember some of those kickers. Scott Norwood. I guess we do. But you got to remember the clutch kicks, and that makes a difference for Vinatieri. To me, yes. Hall of Famer, but I still view kickers differently. First ballot. Who's going to get in? Let's see. Eli Manning or Adam Vinatieri first. Both of them out this year. It was a small class. Small class if you didn't see it. Vikings, Jared Allen. Chargers, Antonio Gates. Packers, Sterling Sharp. And Eric Allen played for the Raiders. The Eagles, good DB, good corner. So Eli Manning's out there. Adam Vinatieri's out there. Luke Kuechly's out there. Reggie Wayne. Is that one to throw out? Reggie Wayne. He had some big seasons for the Colts. Peyton Manning, some big seasons. Is Reggie Wayne a Hall of Famer? So there's guys out there that had some big numbers. By the way, Eli Manning, people say, just the 2 Super Bowls and the 2 Super Bowl MVPs. He's top 11 all-time QBs, touchdowns, and yards. That's top 11 all-time. That's a Hall of Fame QB, right? I'm not like an Eli Manning fanboy, but that's Hall of Fame. Hey, I've got something for us in the second hour. Let's kick it off right now. So football's over. I get it. Football's over. What are the spring sports events that you look forward to the most? I'm going to rank my top 4, but I want to know yours, okay? Spring sports event you look forward to the most. Matt Kearney's already chimed in on this, the producer of the Nate Brown Show. It's quite the event. And we'll get into his. But what's yours? 605-720-1067. Spring sports event. Now with football over, we're depressed. But no, there's good things to come, right? I'm going to rank my top 4 coming up in the next few months. What's your best on the way?
This is the Nate Brown Show.
Whether you're a pro or a Joe, a weekend warrior or a gardening great, Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine is here when you need us. Nobody plans an injury, but when people throughout the Black Hills and beyond suffer a setback, Monument Health Orthopedics is here to provide comprehensive medical care. Our team of board-certified orthopedic surgeons and specialists is dedicated to helping patients regain the quality of life they've lost due to an injury, arthritis, or joint wear and tear. Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine for everyday athletes like you.
How do you make everyone's favorite buffet even better? How do you make the country's best chicken even more exciting? How do you make Thursday the best night ever? Wing night at Pizza Ranch. Boneless and traditional. A variety of sauces. All the wings you want, plus all your other buffet favorites. The country's best wing night is here, taking flight Thursday nights on the buffet. Only at Pizza Ranch. Pizza Ranch, everyone's favorite buffet.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City, the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM. Fox Sports Rapid City.
Danny Manholt Rapid Chevrolet buys cars. You heard that right. We don't just sell cars, we buy them too. We make cash offers to purchase local cars, trucks, and SUVs every day. Tired of listing online? Tired of messages? Or just tired of making payments? Whatever the reason, make an appointment at rapidchevrolet.com for a no-obligation appraisal. It's fast and free. When you're ready to sell, we're ready to buy. At Danny Manholt Rapid Chevrolet, Rapid City.
Find your fortune and fall for big wins during the Love and Luck promotion at Cadillac Jack's Gaming Resort. Join us every Friday and Saturday night from 8 p.m. to midnight for prize drawings that grow bigger each hour. Then, don't miss the grand prize event on Saturday, March 29th, where 10 lucky winners will take home prizes ranging from $500 to $5,000. Let Love and Luck bring you big wins and even bigger thrills. Only at Cadillac Jack's Gaming Resort in Deadwood. How will your night play out?
Building projects can be complex. The risks are great and time is money. Consolidated Construction of Rapid City simplifies the process by being your advocate, guiding you through funding, design, and construction. They manage the players and the schedule and marry the design to your budget so you get the most for your investment. They promise an energizing experience before, during, and after construction. It's not enough that you get a quality building. They pledge you'll experience quality every step of the way. Consolidated Construction. OneCallToBuild.com.
It may not require a textbook, but it's filled with valuable lessons. It may not take place in a classroom, but it's an ideal environment for learning. It may not involve a diploma, but it can help prepare South Dakota's young people for life. It's high school sports. High school sports can play a critical role in a student's overall education. In fact, studies show that students that participate in high school sports are more likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in their academic lives. If you think high school sports are only about competition, think again. Better yet, think about attending a high school sporting event in your community. You'll be amazed by what you see. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education. This message presented by the South Dakota High School Activities Association and the South Dakota Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
This is the Nate Brown Show. From the biggest national names to the hottest stories across South Dakota. Welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
Welcome back in. Hope you had a nice day today. It's always a great day in South Dakota, right? Even when it's 5 degrees, 8 degrees, 9 degrees, snow, a little chilly. Welcome in. Afternoon Drive. The Nate Brown Show is on Fox Sports Radio. Glad to have you on board across South Dakota from Sioux Falls to Rapid City. Good stuff. We've got some great guests this hour. Hang tight. Tip Ryman's going to join us from Phoenix. Arizona Cardinals tight end, played his high school days at St. Thomas More, finished up at Sioux Falls O'Gorman, went to Illinois, had a great college career in the Big Ten, and drafted by the Arizona Cardinals this past year. Played a lot of downs. Tip Ryman on his first year in the NFL. He's joining us from Phoenix straight ahead. Zach Borg's on tonight from Sioux Falls, Dakota News Now, sports anchor. Not only going to hear his sad tears for the Chiefs. Well, we're going to give him a platform tonight. We got to talk some high school sports. There's a lot to discuss with Zach Borg, Dakota News Now, sports anchor live from Sioux Falls. And I'm on a quest. I've found my quest. So Matt Kearney is the ultimate six-man football proponent in the state of South Dakota. If you've listened to the show over the years, you know Matt Kearney, high school football extraordinaire, is on this quest for the small towns of South Dakota to not have football die, but instead revive with six-man football. And he's on this quest. It's a good quest. I support it. I don't know who's going to reach the mountaintop quicker. Me on trying to get this pilot program for girls high school flag football, because I got some momentum tonight. The Montana guy came on, Mike Erickson, in the first hour. If you want to catch that, hit the Nate Brown Show podcast. We'll put it up tonight. Mike Erickson's from Billings, Lockwood High School athletic director. He's right in the middle of girls high school flag football. He's got the league going in Montana. He's got 30 teams now. He just had 17 this past year. He's going to have 30 next year. And he said, I'll help you get it going in South Dakota. We're on a quest for girls high school flag football, not sanctioned, club pilot program. Matt Kearney, six-man football in high school. What marks could we leave on South Dakota high school sports? Let's get going here. Football is over. We understand. It's over. I don't know if you get depressed about that. I turn the page. I always say, what do we cover? We cover everything across the board. And I got to thinking, what is the number one sporting event you look forward to now? When you reach the pinnacle, we hit the Super Bowl Sunday. Now, what do you look forward to in sports the most in spring? I'll say spring/summer, but your next sporting event, the biggest one you look forward to. That's my question of the day in the second hour. I ask you on the Barron's Wilson text line, 605-720-1067. If you can't text, if you want to get a call in, we can take a few if you want. 605-720-1067. I'm interested to see the audience now that football's over, Super Bowl, and we do that every year. We haven't asked this one. Which spring sports event do you look forward to the most? I've got my top 4. I'm going to rank my top 4. I'll take your votes as well. 605-720-1067. Barron's Wilson text line or the Studio Pizza Ranch hotline. Let's see here. Some votes coming in. Masters. The Masters. That's a good one. You know, you're hoping around South Dakota the weather's turned. You relax a little bit. You're a golf fan. You're ready to hit the course, and you get to watch the Masters. So that's solid. That's solid. It's not my top 4. It's definitely not my top 4 of, like, must-see sports event, but Masters coming in. That was from North Dakota. Dave from North Dakota, thanks for checking in. College softball getting a vote. I do watch a little college softball. It's not my top. NHL playoffs. NHL playoffs getting some love. Let's see. College baseball. Okay, I get that. I don't get into that till College World Series. College baseball. Another one for golf. Golf's making an appearance here. Golf's like a year-round thing. So when you say golf, you'd say Masters and some of the majors, I guess. Maybe that's what you're thinking. But the Masters is kind of the start of that run. Let's see here. Let's get my votes out there before we get to Tip Ryman coming up from Phoenix, Arizona Cardinals, tied in live straight ahead on the Nate Brown Show. Let's get my top 4. Where do I start? Number 4. I will go NFL draft. NFL draft. You're going to say, you're crazy. Give me a break. That's a huge thing. It is, but it's just that one night, essentially. I'm really looking first round, and I want to see where these players go every year. So that's a big event. It's the biggest league. It's the biggest brand. And this year, you've got the Travis Hunter factor, the Shedeur Sanders factor. I know you guys love it. You love it, and you want to see where they end up. NFL draft is top 4 spring sports event for me. I do like the draft. I mean, my family, we watch the draft that night. The prime time, they moved that to prime time. That's a good call. So NFL draft's my 4th. I will tell you, start of the WNBA season. Don't laugh. You know that Caitlin Clark's the ticket. Caitlin Clark is the ticket. The WNBA, I didn't think was going to captivate. I didn't think we'd go from women's college basketball Final Four and the Caitlin Clark show to the WNBA elevation. But it has, and my daughters are passionate about hoops, so that's a family thing for me. Start of the WNBA season, I will be watching Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever. You know that. That's number 3. What's missing from my list? Number 2, I will put the NBA playoffs. You guys are screaming again. I'm a basketball guy. I'm a basketball fan. How can you not? Are you telling me, guys? Are you telling me you're not going to watch Luka Doncic and LeBron James in the NBA playoffs? You're trying to tell me that, but you will. The NBA playoffs, it is a little bit long. So the 7-game series, it's kind of like, I'm not watching every game. I'm not going to watch the Sixers and stuff like every game. I'm not going to watch Oklahoma City every game. But that's the sporting event that takes you through spring where it's kind of dead. That takes you into May there. That's good stuff. That's the sport in May is the NBA playoffs. You know that. Everything else is done. So I've got WNBA. I got NBA playoffs. Second, number 1 is easy. And you guys know it. It starts in a month. You guys know it. March Madness, NCAA tournament. And that's easy. And the odds are in my favor of going to the first and second round this year. Breaking news on the Nate Brown Show. Yes, I'm going to try and make first round, second round, Ball Arena, Denver, Colorado, hosting the men's basketball tournament, first round, second round, in a regional. I'm going to try and hit that here in a little over a month. That's an easy one. So March Madness, that few weeks, that's the best of the best. Love filling out the brackets. We've done our bracket challenge here, the whole thing. So it's dominated by hoops. NFL Draft 4th, WNBA 3rd, start of the season with Caitlin Clark back for year 2. NBA playoffs, that's the ticket. When they start playing, that's when they start playing. I hate to tell you, but the intensity's at a level that you watch good basketball then. And then you got March Madness, number 1. What are you voting for? Let's take a look here. Big spring sports event you look forward to the most now that football's over. Matt Curdy, he voted the Indy 500. Anybody? Well, yeah, there's a few. Okay. Well, he's a race guy. He's a race fan. He's been to the Indy 500, right? So Indy 500, not getting a lot of votes, but Matt Kearney, we got to represent a little bit. Number 1 vote for the fans tonight. It's March Madness, 67% of the vote. Number 1 spring sports event you look forward to the most. March Madness dominates, 67%. 20% say Major League Baseball. That did not make my list. It's just the sense of urgency is just not there. So it's not like I don't watch with bated breath here. What are my Cubs doing in April? I got to see, how are the Cubs doing? Oh, I got to make sure I'm watching. It's just such not a sense of urgency there. But 20% of you start in Major League Baseball. 13% the NFL Draft, your number 1 spring sports event. Another race vote. Matt Kearney, you listening? Daytona 500. That's 1 vote. Daytona 500. That's coming up. And another one, the start of spring training. I did go to spring training. Now, going to spring training was fun down to watch my Cubs in Phoenix. That was great. But are you telling me you're watching spring training? Well, that's why you're a great contributor to this program. I like your passion. Listener text, who has time to watch TV? It's time to go softball, baseball, soccer, lake, etc. I like that, too. I don't have any time as it is, right? Let's go with Tip Ryman. He's joining us live from Phoenix after his first year in the NFL. Played at St. Thomas More, went over to Sioux Falls O'Gorman, and then his career took off. Went to Illinois and drafted by the Cardinals. Started for Arizona this season. Rookie tight end for the Cardinals on his first year in the NFL. Tip Ryman live from Phoenix next.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
Race to savings at Menards and start updating your home today. We have what you need to give your bathroom a fresh, updated look. Shop Menards' great selection of bathroom products from American Standard. No matter the size of your bathroom, American Standard offers a superior line of toilets, faucets, sinks, and bathtubs. Complete your bathroom update today with American Standard. Plus, view our weekly flyer on Menards.com and race to savings on all the great deals happening this week.
Save big money at Menards.
If you want the peace of mind that your next pre-owned vehicle is the best it can be, you want Honda True. And you only find it at Danny Manholt Rushmore Honda. Our Honda certified pre-owned vehicles are thoroughly inspected and backed by 7-year, 100,000-mile powertrain coverage, up to 2 complimentary oil changes, 24/7 roadside assistance, inspection report, and 3-day exchange. You simply can't buy the wrong vehicle. Search our inventory at honda-true.com or see us at Denny Manholt Rushmore Honda.
Hey Rush fans, it's Rob at the Firehouse Skybox. We are your official home for Rapid City Rush hockey. When the Rush are playing on the road, join other Rush fans at the Skybox and enjoy some great food and cheer on your Rush. We show every Rush away game and we'll have Rush-themed giveaways every road trip. You'll get a chance to win great Rush prizes with the purchase of a drink or food item. The Skybox has the best food and the best Rush game day experience. Go Rush!
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. Lows dip down to about 7 below. Tonight, under mainly cloudy skies, westerly winds around 5 miles per hour. High temperatures reach up to 7 above tomorrow. 4 below tomorrow night, mainly clear. Mainly sunny Thursday with a high of 35. 29, slight chance of snow Friday. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Right now, it's 3 degrees above zero.
No one has a handbook for what we're living through today, which is why the experience you have access to makes all the difference in how you make it to tomorrow. For decades, Dakota Bank has worked with ag producers through industry, economic, and regional changes. We're committed to agriculture. We're committed to the producers and families that make our communities great. Go with commitment, experience, and integrity. Dakota Bank, banking, insurance, mortgage, and trust. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Insurance and trust not FDIC insured.
Hey, sports parents and ballers of all ages, Rapid City has a new sports facility that you have to check out. E3 Sports Complex on East North Street is the newest indoor sports facility featuring 4 full courts. E3 Sports is here to serve the community and wants all athletes of any age to come and experience expert training, coaching, and the opportunity to unlock your athletic potential. Memberships and court rentals are available now. Come to play at E3 Sports Complex. Learn more at e3sports.org.
Your sports, your show. From East River to West River, this is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate Brown Show.
Welcome back in South Dakota Sports Talk Show, Tuesday edition of The Nate Brown Show. Glad you're here. Appreciate it. Remember, if you missed parts of the show, go to the Nate Brown Show podcast. Every guest, every show right there. Search The Nate Brown Show, and you've got us on Apple, Spotify, Amazon. Every show. Mike Golick Jr. in the opening hour. Hang on. You can find us tonight. We'll put up the Nate Brown Show podcast. Just search The Nate Brown Show wherever you get your podcasts. Well, we had Tip Ryman on before he started his NFL season, and now he just finished up his first NFL season. Tip Ryman, Arizona Cardinals tight end. Played at St. Thomas More, finished up out at Sioux Falls, and great career in college and drafted by the Cardinals. And he joins us live on the Nate Brown Show. Tip, good to get you back on. How are you?
Yes, sir. I appreciate it, man. It's good to be on.
Well, I appreciate your time.
How are you?
I'm doing good. I know you don't have to do this, so thanks for coming on. South Dakota sports fans appreciate it. First thing, we got 3 degrees today. Do you miss South Dakota? Do you miss it?
I miss the Black Hills. I miss everything I grew up in. Yeah, I miss that. And a little bit of cold to make it tough again. I kind of miss that part, but I can't complain. Sunny and 75 pretty much every day, about 7 months out of the year, right? So yeah, I'm thankful. I was a polar bear for a long time.
Yeah, we all know that. So now you're good to go in Phoenix. How are you feeling right now? The off season. What's your daily life like? What do you do right now as you finished up your first season? A little bit of golf, a little bit of relaxation. Take us through it.
Yeah, I'm not much of a golfer. I've kind of always hated it, so I've just stuck to lifting. But I took 2 weeks and I did absolutely nothing, and timed it up to where I took 2 weeks right after our son was born, and so we just had a little newborn bubble, and I didn't do a single thing for like 2 weeks and let my body completely get back, and then I started training a couple weeks ago again, and I got 2 days every a few times a week, and I've just been training a lot, and I love it because it's a passion of mine. So really, day to day is just do some errands, maybe some appointments for our son, and other than that, training once or twice a day.
Congratulations on the new son. That's big time. That's absolutely phenomenal. Tip Ryman joins us, Arizona Cardinals tight end. You just wrapped up the first year. Can you you said, hey, I kind of let my body relax a little bit, kind of get back healed up here. What was the rigors like of this season here? The NFL season is longer now. What was it like for you?
Yeah, I mean, I knew going in how long it was, right, and that it's a big stretch, and especially the rookie year, because you go from before your senior season, and then if you do, like I did, the All-Star game and then the Combine, you don't stop, right, and so you go right from that into rookie minicamp. So it's a long year, 2 years of your life, but now to have a little bit of time to fully reset. And not that I really had a lot to heal from, thank the Lord. But it's just nice to mentally reset, if anything. But it's different in the sense of it's a long year, but it's just how much detail and intention go into every single moment. So there's a couple differences, but I'd say that's the big one as far as the NFL season, as far as the difference compared to college and everything.
Yeah, Tip Ryman joining us, Arizona Cardinals tight end, former St. Thomas More player, and Sioux Falls O'Gorman player here on the Nate Brown Show tonight. What'd you think of the Super Bowl, Tip? Give me your read.
Oh, man. The Eagles have an insane roster. That was my read. And they make plays. They make it happen. Four sacks on 0 blitzes. That's kind of unheard of. They exploited the weaknesses that the Chiefs gave them, and I was excited. A former teammate of mine at Illinois, Sidney Brown, he's a Super Bowl champion forever. You can't take that away. It's a big deal. So, props to that team, that whole team. That's the standard, right? That's Super Bowl champions for a reason. So that was a good game to watch.
Yeah, Philadelphia was strong, no doubt. And I look at you guys at the Cardinals. I'm watching you. I thought you had a nice year. What did you think as your season progressed there? Started out okay, and then some losses coming in. What did you think overall your first season individually, and then where this organization's going?
Individually, my first season was full of growth. Some two kind of phrases I live by. The first one is tough, smart, dependable. That came from Brett Bielema at Illinois, and want to make sure that's a part of my everyday life. And then the second one is intentionality and consistency. And so this whole season, personally, was based on those two things, and I think I embodied those things greatly. I played with toughness, I played smart, I was dependable on and off the field. I'm intentional and consistent with details, and not wishy-washy or anything like that, or just going through the motions. And so that's what I focused on. It's not more so a tangible thing. It's more intangible things, but you know it when you see it, you know it when you feel it. And so I feel like the growth in those areas, and just accomplishing those things also influence the tangible things on the field that you see on tape. And so I think I just continue to exemplify that and root myself in those things, and that's where I saw my first year individually. As far as the team and the franchise go, I saw us, I knew I was coming into what we were called a rebuild, and I see new leaders, and I see like a great environment in the locker room, and a lot of cool things popping up, especially through the course of the year, being tested as we were, like you had mentioned, kind of the highs and the lows. We rode them both, right? So to be able to see both sides of that, see how we respond to the highs and the lows, is a really good indication of how we're going to progress. And I think we're going to be in good standing as we continue, in years forward, because we are resilient and we're tough. And the two phrases I mentioned, tough, smart, dependable, as well as intentional and consistent, those are things I think we embody and continue to embody more and more, as we get closer as a unit, as we progress as a team.
I want to ask you, what's it like playing with Kyler Murray? What an athlete, what a fun player to be around. What's it like playing with him?
Yeah, he's incredible. He's one of the quicker dudes I've ever met. I'm sure you can already assume that. He's an incredible athlete, right? But he's got a mind with just like his reaction times, his ability to process information, at a speed that I don't think people understand is wild. He goes, man. He's fast mentally as well as physically, and he does. He's a vet. He makes vet moves, and it's really interesting to watch and be a part of and see kind of how he moves, right? And not just physically, I mean mentally, and how he processes things. So pretty cool, and he's got our best interest in mind, and he's told us time and again, myself and other players, of like, the best is yet to come. We're growing, and he gives feedback in growth-oriented ways, right? Not to tear us down, but to grow together and to build all together. And so he's a trustworthy guy, and I appreciate him. And he's been a great resource to learn from.
Tip Reiman joining us. A couple more for him. Appreciate his time. Arizona Cardinals tight end, Rapid City St. Thomas More star on Fox Sports Radio on the Nate Brown Show. I got to ask you, how long did it take you to get over, okay, I'm lining up, I got to block Von Miller? I mean, you watched Von Miller, Super Bowl. How long did it take you to get over, I got to take this guy down?
Yeah, it was wild. There's like, but then you get into the season, right? Because Von Miller was my first start, right, in the first game and at the Bills, and I'm going against him and AJ Epinesa, and then you realize, man, I'm starstruck for a moment, but then you realize you really got to get over it, because guess what the next week is? Okay, that's Nick Bosa. Okay, the next week is Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa. Okay, the next week you might be Jadeveon Clowney. Like, it doesn't stop, right? So everybody's a dude, and leaving that last name where it belongs, which is on the back of the jersey, is key. And so just being like, you know what? He's a mere mortal like me, man. He bleeds just like me, and anybody can get their face ran through. So
I look forward to watching the rest of your career. You're just getting going out of St. Thomas More, and people are following you. Arizona Cardinals tight end in his rookie season in the books. Tip Reiman on the Nate Brown Show tonight. Really excited to watch you, man, and I appreciate you coming on, talking about the first year. I know you guys are going to try and mix it up in the NFC West. I appreciate your time, man. Good luck the offseason, and congrats on the new baby.
Yeah, thank you, Nate.
I appreciate your time. Tip Reiman on tonight. Arizona Cardinals tight end after his first year in the NFL. Nice work by him, and that'll be interesting to watch. I love talking to South Dakota guys that have made it big, and he'll continue to do good things there at Arizona. Good club down there. They got going early on, got some losses there, and then, kind of fighting back and forth. That's the NFL. So Tip Reiman out of St. Thomas More finished up out in Sioux Falls on the Nate Brown Show tonight after his first year. That was insightful. Talked about the off season. He said, man, I'm just going to lift and work out. I thought he'd be golfing in the Phoenix Sun, chilling, sitting back. Probably not how he got where he is. That's my guess. He hates golf. That's newsflash. Hates golf. Too frustrating, Tip. I understand with you on that. Interesting insight into his team, into the process of being a pro, and all of the things that go along with that. Arizona Cardinals tight end Tip Reiman on tonight. Let's go to Sioux Falls, talk high school sports with Zach Borg, Dakota News Now, sports anchor, live from Sioux Falls. Next.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
Are you tired of your dog shredding your lawn or tracking in with muddy paws? Canine Grass by Forever Lawn is the high-performance artificial grass made specifically for dogs. Only the Canine Grass system has knitted backing for edge-to-edge drainage, antimicrobial blades, and no infill. Don't trap the waste and odors using any other turf. Call 605-831-9026 or Google Forever Lawn in South Dakota. With dealerships on both sides of the state, we're ready to help you clean up after your dogs. Forever Lawn in South Dakota.
Get ready to save on supplies for your furry and feathered friends at Fleet Farm's Paws and Claws event. Get a free $15 gift card for every $75 you spend on Purina pet products. And stock up on Pine Tree Farm suet cakes, multiple flavors, 5 for $5. While you're at it, pick up 20 pounds of KT Basic Blend Bird Food, sale priced at $7.99. Stop in and get everything you need for all your pets, all at the best prices guaranteed at Fleet Farm.
From gooey grilled cheese sandwiches on Dakota-style 12-grain to peanut butter and jelly on Kids' Choice soft white bread. Kids of all ages want simple, comforting food that remind them of mom's home cooking. Country Hearth was born from that nostalgia and commitment to simplicity. Baked locally using natural ingredients like whole grains and honey, our breads are delivered fresh daily to grocery stores throughout the Midwest. Country Hearth Breads, baking our best for you.
Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine is everywhere you need us to be. On the sidelines, supporting our local athletes, at our clinic locations throughout the region, and at our Ortho Express walk-in clinic when you don't have time to wait. We're here when you need us, working as a team to make your comeback stronger than ever. Getting stronger, getting better, getting you back to your best self. The life of an athlete has its uncertainties, wins and losses, injury and recovery. In the Black Hills area, athletes can always count on Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, here for whatever moves you.
Hi, this is David Brenneman with Coldwell Banker Black Hills Legacy in Rapid City. Have you thought about buying a home or real estate in the Black Hills? Maybe you want to upgrade to your forever home? I have been helping people in the Black Hills find the right home for nearly 20 years. When it comes to buying or selling, experience matters. Let me do the work and you can open the door to your new home. Say hello to a good buy with me, David Brenneman. To get started, just Google David Brenneman, Coldwell Banker.
Do you have a financial game plan for your life? Hi, this is Lee Cruz, your local trusted New York Life agent here in Rapid City. My passion is helping you put the pieces in place for your family to make sure your game plan is a success. For over 175 years, New York Life has been helping people like yourself take action in securing their future. Don't wait, take action and Google Lee Cruz New York Life or call 605-360-8804. We will work together on putting your family first.
Ever since Barron's Wilson Funeral Home first opened their doors in Rapid City 140 years ago, they have continued to make personal service their number one priority. In your time of grief, they offer a personal touch by being at your side through every step of the funeral process. They answer difficult questions and guide you toward other professional services you may need. See for yourself the wide variety of services they can provide for you by visiting their website at barronswilson.com.
This is The Nate Brown Show, also streaming live on YouTube. Subscribe to The Nate Brown Show on YouTube.
Hey, welcome back in South Dakota Sports Talk Show live, your afternoon drive. The Nate Brown Show on Fox Sports Radio. Stream us all the time on X as well, at Nate Brown Show. We're live right now, wherever you're listening or watching. Welcome in studio on X, at Nate Brown Show. Follow the show and watch us live every afternoon drive. Zach Borg's in tonight. He didn't go into witness protection after the Super Bowl. He's fine. He's fine, everybody. You can find him at Dakota News Now. Sports anchor. Dakota News Now, Sioux Falls. Zach, you are the South Dakota Chiefs homer. I call you that. Do you know that?
I didn't know about. Well, I think I know about the homer. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I do. So,
I love it.
You know, at least the nice part is now, inevitably, when the Chiefs come back and start winning again, or if they go to another Super Bowl and win, you know, and inevitably when the whole refs thing comes up or the rigging thing comes up, I can now say, hey, where were they in Super Bowl 59?
Yes, you have that going for you. This is the bright side of the loss.
That's about all I had going for me, other than that, and Xavier Worthy was decent, and the defense was fine if they'd had any help. But,
were you angry on Sunday night? Were you angry?
I don't know if angry was the word. It just was kind of like, everything went wrong. It was more of a flashback to the Tampa Bay Super Bowl a couple of years ago. Like I said, I wasn't really angry. I mean, I think people kind of, though I love to, I will talk, some Chiefs stuff, but it's after they win games. I don't like to make a bunch of bold predictions or statements before a game. And, my feeling was I knew Philadelphia was better than they were 2 years ago, like we discussed. I thought the Chiefs' defense was better, and I really don't have a lot of complaints with the Chiefs' defense. I thought they held Barkley down. They just were constantly under siege because you turn the ball over 3 times. That's where a lot of the points come from. It just, everything went wrong, and nobody played a good game on offense, especially. Nobody coached a good game, and much like the Tampa Bay Super Bowl, they had a compromised offensive line then, and they had one this year. And I think the bigger surprise was going into that Super Bowl, it was kind of an emergency thing because they had 2 injuries which took out their offensive tackles, and you're like, well, that's what are you going to do? That's the hand you're dealt. This was something where they had moved. They kind of dealt with it all year, and nobody had really exploited it. And the Eagles exploited it.
Yeah.
to the max.
By the way, Zach Morgan tonight, big Chiefs fan. We know that. Dakota News Now sports anchor out of Sioux Falls. He's on Twitter at Iceborg. You can find him there. So here's the deal. One more on the Chiefs, and I want to get some high school sports. Yeah. I believe that the gap's closed because they've been in a ton of one-score games anyway. My Broncos had you beat. I mean, all of that stuff's there. The gap's closed. I don't see the dominance anymore. So, I mean, playoff team, yes. AFC championship every single year, no. How do you feel? That's how I feel. How do you feel?
Well, the counter to that is they were never really a dominant team. I mean, if you go back in the 2 years they won they haven't really been a dominant team since the first Super Bowl they won. And over the 2 years that they won the back-to-back, they weren't really killing teams. I mean, I remember they had a game in 22 where they beat a 1-win Houston team in overtime. I mean, this wasn't a team that went out and blew people away. They certainly had the aura of that, but they put together a really good defense. The defense is still pretty young, and I think it's going to still be an issue. Now they've got people to pay, but I think this certainly gets rid of some of that invincibility that I think people had built up over them.
Yes.
But on the flip side, one of the things about getting blown out that happened 2 years ago, that happened with the last Super Bowl, was they couldn't ignore the flaws that they had to make up for, and they got pretty aggressive after they lost to Tampa Bay. You can't ignore what happened in this one. They were just killed in the trenches. They really have to, they have to remake the offensive line. They've had where they missed on that was in the draft. They've had some bad misses there. They probably need to get a little better on the defensive lines too. But at least the one thing when you get blown out is it exposes your flaws, and they've always been aggressive after every playoff loss to fill those. So while everybody is saying, well, there's this formula out there now, well, the Chiefs have been pretty good at adapting when they have lost. So like I said, I never count them out. I mean, Mahomes has been to an AFC championship game every year as a starter, but I never take it for granted that they're going to be there either. I just think, like I said, other teams are certainly getting better, but I don't think the Chiefs are going to stand pat and just, take a belt to just kind of lick their wounds for a full year. I think they will make some aggressive moves and retool and get better. And I hope to God they start adding a little more of a deep element because they have some more speed now at wide receiver with Worthy, and when he returns, Rashee Rice. They've kind of got to meld somewhere between where they were in the first Super Bowl and where they've been the last few years with kind of the dink and dunk stuff.
Zach Morgan tonight, Dakota News Now sports anchor. I had to give him his platform to react to his Chiefs losing. And by the way...
And first of all, the Eagles, and all credit to the Eagles, too. They were a tremendous defensive team at all three levels. They play. There's no question that team earned it. And they were 16-1 down the stretch. They were the best team in football.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. I don't know if anybody's beating them. Wasn't it nice of me not to tweet at you? I mean, I'm just respectful, Zach. Come on.
That's a nice change. I think me being a guest probably helped. I'll give it to you this. You'd said it a couple of years ago in that Tampa loss that they're probably in trouble with Mike Remmers at outside tackle when he was one of the backup guys.
Yeah,
that was. That was the case.
Yeah,
I mean, it's one of those deals. You can't go into a Super. And Mahomes did not play good. I'm not glossing over that. But he could have played well, and it wouldn't have mattered. You can't. Quarterback has to have you really have to have functioning tackles, and they never had one at left tackle this year. They moved a guard over, but then when you move a guard over, you're making another part of your line weak. So it just is what it is. And, like I said, I don't have that much to complain about when I've seen them win 3 in 6 years now. So.
No, that's okay. That's okay. By the way, I want to get to this topic. I had a question of the day yesterday. Should South Dakota be open to looking at girls' high school flag football? some people kind of go crazy on that. Oh, this isn't a real thing. I was slow to it, thinking, I don't know if it's popular enough in a place like South Dakota. I usually think of cities and big population centers. Montana's going to have 30 high school girls flag football teams next year. 30. They started with 5. It's grown in 2 years. Would South Dakota ever look at it? Should they be open to it? Not sanction. I'm not saying that. Get funding from a NFL Flag Football Foundation. Should South Dakota take a look?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm not. When do they play in the Montanas? When is it? The
early fall. Early fall. Yeah, early fall.
I mean, maybe the one thing is I kind of hate to have it going head to head, maybe with the regular high school season. I don't know how that. I'm guessing maybe they play on Thursdays or something.
Like Saturdays, jamborees, Saturdays.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say this for a coverage standpoint, that's kind of difficult when they want to get local media coverage, because then we're obviously on college football beat out here. But no, I'm all for that. I think I don't understand the backlash. If there is a backlash toward it, why not get we get it so much about, we got to get a scholarship in this. Sports are about so much more than getting scholarships and winning. It's about the participation, learning, being on a team. There's so many life lessons, and that extends to both genders. I don't understand why not give, if there's a sport out there that they want to compete in, why not give them that opportunity? I'm all for that.
All right. I'm with you on that, too. I'm going, I wonder if this will ever be something here. AD from Montana was on the show tonight. He said he would love to help South Dakota get going. There's some NFL teams that want to expand their reach with it.
I know this is kind of a different thing, but I know powder puff football was always really popular in my high school and every high school I've seen. I know that's a different kind of genre, but I know there are plenty of girls who are interested in playing a version of football. I mean, there have been girls on football teams out here. I mean, usually they're just kickers, but still, I mean, I have no problem with that. I think it's an interesting idea, and certainly, if you, like you said, if you can get a pilot program from an NFL team or a grant, all the better. Whether it's like the Broncos or the Vikings or whoever.
Right. Right.
I think it's a wonderful thing. I mean, there are sports that there's a lot of women's sports that at one time people said, "Well, we shouldn't do this." Well, it turned out to be a pretty good idea.
Yeah. I want to get your take on this one really quick. Zach Borgon tonight. Will this proposal ever pass? South Dakota High School basketball AA state tournament qualifying, changing it from the SODAC 16 to 4 regions, 4 automatic qualifiers. You win your region, then reseeding, so a hybrid model. The last 8 teams with the PowerPoints, then take your best 4 out of there. That's the proposal for the ADs coming up. Will it ever pass?
So I have to take a little closer look at it, but 4 regions, 4 winners.
Yep.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I think I've said I kind of like the current format because I do think you end up with the best teams, but I also understand, I'm cognizant of travel issues and a lot of other things. And I also I'm not necessarily a full fan of letting the points system. Initially, like I said, without taking a deeper look, I'm not a huge fan of letting the points system necessarily explicitly decide who's going to state in terms of the other half of that. I like the fact you still have that competition to where, okay, somebody still has to win a game to get in.
Yes.
Yes. In theory, and I think it happened one time, actually. I think a Roosevelt team that was like winless or something beat a high seed. I can't remember if that's correct or not, but it doesn't happen often. But you still have to. I still am a big proponent of forcing every seed and everybody who qualifies to win a game to get there, whether it's a SODAC 16 or a play or a play-in game or whatever. So that would be the one hesitancy I would have, and I think a lot of people might be hesitant on that too. But again, I haven't fully read it, so I'd want to kind of. I'm hesitant to maybe make a full statement, but that's where I'm at with that.
Take a look at it. The ADs are going to vote on it, and it's breaking it up into 4 regions, AA. You play your region tournaments, so you got some rivalries there. It'd be good crowds and the local and no travel, and then you get 4 region champs. So and then you seed out the 8, and then you'd play those 4 games, and then you'd take those 4. I like the hybrid. You get a Sodak 16 element, you get a region championship element. We'll see where it goes. ADs are going to vote on it. The proposal coming out of the basketball committee. Zach Board, we got a roll. I appreciate you coming on, as always. Thanks a lot.
Yes, sir. Take care.
Thanks a lot. Zach Board tonight, Dakota News Now, sports anchor, Sioux Falls. Covers high school sports and the whole scene well there. He's on Twitter at Iceborg. Coming right back with who's hot and who's not. If you think youth sports is a big business, you should take a look at the potential new plan in Florida. That's on the way.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
The wait is over. We're clearing out our 2024 models at Spearfish GMC Cadillac. We've discounted all of our remaining 2024 models, but don't wait because stock is limited. New 2024 Sierra 1500 up to $9,300 off. 24 GMC Yukon as low as $71,927. Remaining 24 Sierra HDs up to $6,000 off. And 24 Cadillac Lyriq EV up to $10,000 off. Spearfish GMC Cadillac, online always at spearfishmotors.com.
Stuck in a state of falling behind? Struggling to keep up with your kids, your finances, your insurance, your life? This is State Farm Agent Matt McCormick. Let me help you simplify and get to a better state. With me handling your auto, home, and life insurance, you'll have more time to handle everything else. Even more money, too. Because adding State Farm policies can earn discounts that could add up to 40%. Call me, State Farm Agent Matt McCormick, and get to a better state with State Farm. 348-0464. Hey Rush fans, it's Rob at the Firehouse Skybox. We are your official home for Rapid City Rush hockey. When the Rush are playing on the road, join other Rush fans at the Skybox and enjoy some great food and cheer on your Rush. We show every Rush away game, and we'll have Rush-themed giveaways every road trip. You'll get a chance to win great Rush prizes with the purchase of a drink or food item. The Skybox has the best food and the best Rush game day experience. Go Rush!
Building projects can be complex. The risks are great and time is money. Consolidated Construction of Rapid City simplifies the process by being your advocate, guiding you through funding, design, and construction. They manage the players and the schedule and marry the design to your budget so you get the most for your investment. They promise an energizing experience before, during, and after construction. It's not enough that you get a quality building. They pledge you'll experience quality every step of the way. Consolidated Construction. OneCallToBuild.com.
Could there be a better name? Auto Value Parts Stores. They aren't just about air fresheners or fuzzy dice. Auto Value Parts Stores are all about parts, auto parts, and advice. Pros who know auto parts with tons of tips when you need them the most. You want real value? Don't go to a place with a cute name. Go to Auto Value. Could there be a better name? I didn't think so. Your Auto Value Parts Store. We've got the parts, we've got the smarts.
From high school to college to the pros, from Rapid City to Sioux Falls, the Nate Brown Show is South Dakota's sports talk.
Welcome back in. Fun show tonight. Great guests across the board. If you missed parts of the show, really good stuff tonight. Mike Golick Jr., recap of the NFL season preview in 2025. Tip Ryman on tonight. I really enjoyed that. Took us inside his first year in the NFL. Rookie tight end for the Arizona Cardinals. Played here at St. Thomas More. Sioux Falls O'Gorman. Tip Ryman on tonight. And Mike Erickson joined us. He's the AD up in Montana in Billings. He's a big part of girls high school flag football out of Lockwood High School, and he's been growing that league up there. 30 teams he's expecting for next year. They just had 5 to start, went to 17. Now he thinks they're going to be up to 30. Girls high school flag football out of Montana. Mike Erickson, the AD at Lockwood High School, is on tonight. So go to the Nate Brown Show podcast. All of the guests are there. Break the show down, download it, and you've got it. Who's hot and who's not, brought to you by the Pizza Ranch. You know that. Pizza Ranch is home of everyone's favorite buffet. 2 locations in Rapid City, also at 3809 East 10th Street, Sioux Falls, and in Brandon. Your locally owned and operated Pizza Ranch. In my Who's Hot category tonight, well, I didn't think Youth sports could be a bigger business, but apparently it can. There's a project on the docket. There's a development project in Florida. They're going to try and tap into the massive business of youth sports, and they think they're going to be a destination for vacations. They want your family to come there for the tournament, and then they're going to have all sorts of entertainment around it. The total price tag for a possible youth sports complex in Orange County, Florida, $1 billion. Did you say billion? $1 billion. A huge complex they're looking at, Orange County, Florida. That's the business of youth sports. $1 billion complex. Oh, boy. In our Pizza Ranch Who's Not tonight, I didn't know this was happening. So you can get donations for anything in college sports, and they're looking for more and more money now. The North Carolina State Board of Trustees considering a new proposal that would sell the naming rights to a donor to name their athletic director. No. You know what I mean by this. It would be the Nate Brown athletic director at Duke. So if I donated, what are they looking at? $5 million? Or are they looking at $1 billion? Whatever it is. So you donate a certain number. They're looking to endow the athletic director position. So North Carolina State's not the first one to do this, but they're the latest. North Carolina State looking to sell their naming rights. You can donate, and then your name is on the athletic director. So it's the Nate Brown athletic director, Jimmy Lipper at Duke. What a title. Thanks for listening to The Nate Brown Show. The podcast going up right now.
It's the geometry teacher who mans the ticket window.
It's the kid in grade